Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to talk and play the Kranvagn. Now, the Kranvagn, of course, is a Swedish tier 10 heavy, and it has that auto reloading system that most of you will know I absolutely love. Honestly, I love the auto reloading system. Now, the Kranvagn does have two, in my opinion, very good camouflages. Now, this one is a bit in your face. Of course, it is the Swedish camouflage. And then you have this one right here, which I think does actually look great. So personally, I do like to use that one. But honestly, I think the tank is fantastic. It does have its pluses. It does have its minuses, just like most tanks. Now, the turret armor on this thing is 225 and the hull is 100. So it's all about the turret with this tank. The hull is very weak. Your DPM is 2672. And that is an intricate reload of 2.73. And of course, then you have your 3 shells, which if you want to shoot all 3 shells, the reload isn't that bad if you just wanted to reload 1 shell at a time. Honestly, it all depends on the situation that you're in. And I always say that with auto reloading tanks, except if it does have the reserve shell, then you need to try and not use that. 263 on your APCR and 350 on your heat, which is not bad. I don't think it does the job. 410 alpha, 530 if you can get the HE. The aim time is 3.7 and the dispersion is 0.326. So, you know, not the best, but also not the worst. And it does have 9 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 34 kilometers per hour. So the whole idea of this tank really is a Ridgeline tank. Now, just because if you can't get on a Ridgeline, you can still perform well. But the one thing I try to do in this tank, like straight away, is to find a ridge and get on it. It doesn't mean it's always going to be successful. Like this is the best place for the tank. However, give the enemy opportunity, then there are weak points it will be able to penetrate. And as you can see on vineyards here, the first thing I do is to try and find a little ridge. Now, unfortunately, this game, both games really, I don't really utilize the tank as I should. Now, of course, there's a few tanks here. I'm getting some shots off. There's the IS-7. I'm not really too bothered about the IS-7. I really wanted the Sheridan. And, of course, there is the STB. So, at this point, I'm actually in a really bad position. And I just need to back up enough just to only show my turret. And then the STB can't really do too much to me in this position. So while I'm waiting, and this is what I love about this auto reloading system, while I'm waiting for some shots to actually come available, I may as well reload a shell. Now, I did go for that shot hoping the STB was actually there. And again, if there's no shots available, then just reload. You know, you reload. And if there is a shot available and you only have 1 or 2 shells, then take them shots, because that shot might not be available when you reload the next shells. So far, this game, 1700 damage. I've only blocked 1 shot from the STB, and then I start to push forward a little bit more. So we are pretty much level on supremacy points. In fact, we are just winning, literally just winning. But 1 kill is going to change the difference. If they get the kill, we're going to be losing. If we get the kill, then we just make our winning a little bit more. So of course, I do want to clear this STB. He's the one that's actually causing me a little bit of nuisance. Now, he's not causing me too much bother, but he is the one that is causing nuisance, just by being there and knowing that I'm actually here. So the IS-7 actually makes an error and decides to just push. I don't know why he decides to push, but luckily for me, the Minotauro is there to support me, and then we can take him out very easily. And now at this point, it's a 6 versus 5. We're winning on supremacy points by quite a lot at this point. So in a moment, this is when I want to make my move just to get a bit more damage. Now, I'm still on 1500 hit points, plenty of hit points at the moment. Excuse me. So there goes the STB. Nice high roll, actually. I did have a max roll reloaded, but at least I did clear him. And then now I can head towards this this Death Star. Of course, he's going to be the one that could one-shot me. So I do want to get rid of him if I can. So I've got one shell reloaded, but I'm not going to reload both shells. Again, I'm going to take the shot. And luckily I did, because my teammate did manage to kill him, and I would have actually lost some damage. So unfortunately, we are going to win on supremacy points, but 4,200 damage. Yes, I only blocked one shot from the STB, but yeah, you can really pump up this damage with this tank. Honestly, I say that with a lot of tanks, and especially autoloaders as such, because you don't realize just how much damage that you're doing. So both of these replays, even this one, really doesn't show the full extent of this of how good this tank can actually be. Now, this game, within the first 40 seconds, one guy from each team has now gone. So again, I'm going to try to utilize the turret on this thing. Now, I do get shot from the FV4005 there, but was it worth it for that guy? That was a couple of nice shots from my point of view. Gets a shot out, well, gets 2 shots out, and then he dies. And that's the thing when you're driving a paper tank like that. Was it worth 2 shots and then get spotted and everyone aims at you, especially when you are high up like that? It probably wasn't actually worth it. So we do manage to get the kill. Now, I wasn't intending to actually come up here. I was actually intending to stay below, because that is actually a pretty good position if there is a tank that is above the hill, because again, you could only see your turret. But considering this AMX was here, I decided to push on, and then it has started to backfire because of that VK90. So that was my error. That was absolutely 100% my error. You know, I kind of got drifted apart. I see the AMX and I just sort of drifted straight to him. It is now a 5 versus 4. Of course, I'm very low hit points at this point, so I'm just going to work with my guy here. I've got 3 shells loaded. I get the first shot out, second shot out. Can I kill him? Yes, I absolutely can. So that is now 2 kills and already 4k damage. Like, where did that damage come from? It feels like I haven't done anything. Like, literally, it feels like I have done absolutely nothing, but yet we are already on 4k damage. So I've reloaded 1 shell there, and again, I've went for the shot, because if I would have waited, look at that guy, he's now hiding. I wouldn't have that shot available if I didn't take that shot, and I would have wasted a little bit of damage. So I'm never going to stress it enough. If these tanks like this with the auto reloading system, apart from the tanks with the reserve shell, honestly, just guys, if you have the shot, take the shot. Doesn't matter if you've got 1 shell, 2 shells. If you have the shot, take the shot. If you don't have the shot, then of course reload all 3 shells. And again, it all depends on the situation that you're at. If the guy is in the middle of the open and he's a 3 shot, then of course reload all 3 shells to get rid of him. But if, you know, like that, the STB, or sorry, like the TVP, this guy here, the T62, if I had 1 shot reloaded, I would have used it. And at this point, when it's a 4 versus 1, I'm not going to sit there and reload all 3 shells. I'm happy just to shoot this guy individually, like 1 shot. And even again, at this point, yeah, I probably could have reloaded 2 shells or 3 shells, but you know, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because it doesn't take long to reload your shells in a tank like the Kranvagn. So we didn't play it how we wanted to play it and basically get the tank on a ridgeline. However, we do still end the game on 5,300 damage. We get a little bit of assistant damage and the mastery badge. So let me know what you think of the Kranvagn. How do you play it? Do you reload 1 shell? Do you reload 2 or all 3? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69 and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.